A dramatic video, captured by the Black Swans drone unit of Ukraine's 225th Assault Regiment and translated by Estonian analysts, WarTranslated, depicts an increasingly common phenomenon. Russian soldiers exploding after a nearby drone strike destroyed the ammunition they were carrying. The explosion appears to have occurred somewhere in Sumy Oblast in northeastern Ukraine, where a Ukrainian brigade was slowly repelling a Russian infantry attack. Infantry self-immolation is one side effect of the accelerating demechanization of the Russian armed forces as Russia's broader war in Ukraine enters its 42nd month. Russia has halted production of more than 20,000 combat vehicles and other heavy equipment, far more than they can immediately replace through new production and the reactivation of increasingly scarce vehicles. With only a few exceptions, Russian troops are now marching into battle in Ukraine, or riding motorcycles. Even cargo trucks are in short supply. Meeting the troops themselves are the supply lines, but carrying bullets, grenades, and mines. They risk self-destruction from a near miss in a drone strike. On the other hand, drone operators from the 22nd Mechanized Brigade successfully neutralized 2 Russian tanks in the Charkov sector. A short video released by the military captured the moment the enemy equipment was hit. The brigade command thanked the operators for their extraordinary work. This episode is another example of the effective use of drones, which has forced Russia to rarely deploy armored vehicles. The success of this operation also demonstrates the high level of training of the drone operators. As a result, tanks and infantry fighting vehicles, IFVs, are easy targets. Even expensive modern equipment burns within minutes after being hit by FPV drone fire. According to estimates by Western analysts and Ukrainian military officials, Russia has lost thousands of tanks and armored vehicles. American analyst Andrew Perpetua noted Russian human supply lines while observing the battlefield south of the eastern city of Pokrovsk earlier this year. Perpetua recently identified, in a shocking video, approximately 150 destroyed Russian trucks along a 2-mile stretch of one of the few roads running west from the Russian stronghold of Selidov toward the village of Shevchenko, a few miles south of Pokrovsk. That's a destroyed Russian truck every 22 meters. That road of death, which Russia continues to use, with predictably bloody results, is patrolled by drone teams supporting a highly aggressive Ukrainian battalion that held the line around Shevchenko and, in December, launched a successful campaign against a Russian force 20 times its size. The Ukrainian campaign halted Russia's grueling year-long advance on Pokrovsk, albeit temporarily. Ukraine moved these drone units into this region, and that's when they started to establish their kind of drone superiority, where they took complete control of the skies. Perpetua recalled. The Russians basically couldn't fly drones, she added. Their drones would take off, the Ukrainians would shoot them down, and then attack the drone pilots. And they couldn't fly the drones. The Russians complained about a very high drone ratio, like 10-to-1 or worse. It was this drone advantage that ultimately stopped the Russian offensive by blocking all these roads, Perpetua said. Ukrainian drone pilots had a policy where they wanted to destroy the Russian drones first and then, once those drones were destroyed, attack the supply routes. Heavy Vampire hexacopter drones equipped with night vision equipment and carrying grenades or mine payloads, many of which were flown by Ukraine's notorious Major Bird drone group, inflicted the most damage on the roads leading to Shevchenko. The Russians were adept at destroying the 22.5 kilograms Vampires with 1.2 kilograms first-person view drones that exploded on contact. However, after successfully suppressing the Russian drone teams around Shevchenko, the Ukrainian drone teams were able to fly their Vampires with impunity. Smaller FPV drones joined the Vampires, including several fiber-optic models. After destroying every Russian supply truck in sight, the drones moved further south and east, and found the depot where the Russian regiment stored its remaining trucks and other vehicles. They went to every vehicle depot and blew them all up, so they had no tanks, no BMPs, Perpetua mused. They destroyed all their MRAPs, armored trucks, and then blocked every road, so they starved the Russians out. To reinforce Shevchenko, the Russians had to march for kilometers. Their engineers said, "We have to build a minefield, but we can't bring trucks. So each man has to carry 2 mines." Perpetua laughed. So there are videos of infantry marching, and they were told they had to march 20 kilometers. They had to carry all their food and ammunition to last 2 weeks, and they had to carry 2 landmines. This practice is now widespread in the demechanized Russian military. After being harassed by Ukrainian drones, artillery, and mines, the Russian infantry now has another problem: their own explosive charges.
Блин.